Even though I'm on vacation, yes, we're still making a YouTube video. Today, what I want to talk about is how many people come on vacation just to be pissed off. Like when I got on so if you've never been on a cruise, or at least a Carnival cruise, there's a Carnival Hub app, and that's what we use to like message each other since we don't have service. Just to keep in contact with the rest of the party. It's not essential, but it helps a lot. Therefore, when mine wasn't working, I was like, all right, I'm going to have to bite the bullet and go to guest services. And when I was standing in the guest services line, you see a lot of people just fucking pissed, Because, like, everyone comes here to have a good time. And then when they go to guest services, especially on the first day on the boat, they see that fucking line and they're like, So everybody in line is like, you can just tell everybody's annoyed. But you know me. Not only have I been on cruises for a while now, so I know I'm not really missing anything by standing in line for maybe 30 minutes. But another thing is you're on vacation. There's no reason you can't have a good time and stand in line, even if you're standing in line by yourself. There's people in front of you, people behind you. Talk to somebody. Make the most of it. This is what I did. It was me and my uncle. We were standing in line. I was like, we're at the back. This shit moving slow. So I'm gonna go to the bar and grab a drink. So I went and got a beer because I was like, if I'm going to stand in this line, I at least want to have a beer with me. Make the most of it. Make something of it, And then there's these ladies behind us, and I was kind of joking with them. I was like, dude, they need to take notes from Chick-fil-A, where they come up to you in line with a little iPad and they're like, take your order. Well, not. Of course you're not going to take our order, but at least like come by and just see what we need, because some people might have some really simple questions and they're standing in line for an hour and a half. Like you'd be standing in line, and I heard one lady get up to the front and she just asked what her room number was, and I was like, really? You stood in line for that? You couldn't have just looked at your boarding pass that you probably just had 10 minutes ago to get on the boat? But that's exactly why they need to take notes from Chick-fil-A to shorten the line. That way we don't have to wait on the people who just need to know their room number. And then, well, eventually they actually did do that. Some dude came by with a notepad to see what I needed, and I was like, look, my chat's not working, and my card is also the wrong color. I don't know where my card, oh yeah, there it is. So I've been cruising for a while now, and my card is actually supposed to be gold. Now, if you're confused on why the fuck it matters if I have a red card, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't, but I kind of do like my status. Because, okay, if you have a blue card, that means it's your first time on the boat. If you have a red card, that means it's like your second or third time on the boat or on a cruise. If you have more than like 35 sailing days, or you've been on more than 5 cruises, then you get the gold card. I like having my gold card because I get to be like, when people ask me, Dillon, how many cruises you've been on? Peep the status. But now I gotta explain that, oh yeah, even though I have a red card, I've actually been on this boat like 5 times. And it's a little tricky to get people to believe you until I start giving them directions, and I'm like, oh yeah, deck 6, go to the left, you're gonna go all the way down, you're gonna see this blue exit. People, even the dealer, it was his first time, or one of the blackjack dealers, it was his first time on the boat, and he didn't even know where the restroom was, and I was like, I got you. There's one at each end. If you go that way, it's gonna be to the right. If you go that way, it's gonna be to the left. Just keep walking, you run into it. And actually, I've always kind of been that way. If it's a new boat, I'll pull up the map and I will study the boat the layout of the boat. That way I don't look like an idiot getting lost. Now, every once in a while I'll still get lost, but this boat's big as fuck, so it's just bound to happen. But most of the time, like when so I'm with my parents and my uncle, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I think it, and I just start walking. And I think instinctually, most people, they just follow me. And then we get there. It's crazy. But long story short, don't come on vacation just to be pissed off. Expect that there's going to be long lines. Expect that there's going to be inconveniences. Expect that you're going to be annoyed. Because if you expect it, then you're going to be a little more prepared mentally and physically. And you're going to have a lot better time. You know, like, of course I'm optimistic and I want everything to go as perfect as possible. For example, boarding was a breeze. You know, we actually were late, but it worked out because there was nobody in the terminal. We fucking breezed right through security. When we got on the boat, our room was ready. And then 10 minutes later, our bags showed up at the door and we were like, we're hitting it on all marks. You know, but eventually we had to run into an inconvenience where we had to run into guest services. But it's merely a fraction of our trip. You know, just like every other inconvenience in your life is just merely a fraction of your life. So don't let it be a bigger piece of the pie than it really is. Because, well, life's too short to walk around being pissed off all the time. Like, oh, there's a long line, you know. Actually, another inconvenience that happened to just me is I ordered a Michelob and they brought it to me warm. Not ideal. Definitely not ideal. But the optimism in me, I was just like, I get free drinks. And it's a 15 drink limit. I'm nowhere near the limit. Sir, I need another drink. This shit's warm. Can I please get another one? Extra cold, please, with a lime. And it was a different cocktail waiter, and he was like, oh yeah, sorry about that. Some people don't know how to serve drinks. And I was like, apparently. I don't know if he got this one from outside or something, but yeah, it was piss warm. And I was like, please just get me another one. I was like, here, you can take this warm one. I don't know. Maybe there's like a plant on the boat that needs watered or something. Anyway, long story short, the new cocktail waiter came back lickety-split with a cold Michelob and my lime. I was like, I usually don't do this, but you getting $5 for your walking speed and your commitment to getting me a cold beer. But that's all I got for today. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. I'm probably going to try and do a video where I'm not in my cabin just because, well, I want y'all to see the view, but we'll get there. It's only first day.